Hey everyone, it's Deja Yatmir from CrochetEverAfter.com. Today is the newest motif of the month. It's August 2015 and this is the Loopy flower motif. So we're just using some medium worsted weight yarn, a 6mm USJ hook, and the pattern is below. Just click on the link and we'll get started on this fun and easy motif. Alright, get started on our lacy flower. We're going to put a slip knot on our hook and chain 5 for an open circle center. So yarn over back to front, point your hook down and pull through. And do that 4 more times. 4 and 5, and then we're going to join with a slip stitch in the very first chain we made. So insert your hook anywhere in that first chain. And then we're going to lay over our yarn, pull it through, and pull through the loop on our hook. So the hole's pretty big. It's pretty easy to work into that center hole. So for round 1, we're going to do a little bit of a pattern. So the first thing we're going to do is chain 3, and that's going to count as a double crochet. And then we're going to do a group of 4 double crochets inside our ring. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook all the way through the ring, then pull up a loop, pull through the first 2, pull through the next 2, and do that 3 more times. Okay, so that's going to count as a group of 5 double crochets all together. Then we're going to chain 4. And then we're going to do another 5 double crochets and a chain 4, and we're going to do that 3 times. So this counting as the first, and it'll be 4 times, or 4 of these groups all together. So you can see I've already run out of room on my ring, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this over, and now I've got a whole other half of my ring to go. So we're going to do this 2 more times with our 5 double crochets and our chain 4, and then we're going to join our round. Okay, I just finished the last 5 double crochets, and now I'm doing my chain 4, and then I'm going to join with the slip stitch in the top of my chain 3. So this looks really disproportionate and floppy right now, but what we're going to have after we do our next round is kind of a 3D effect with all of these double crochets. So you'll see that in just a second. Okay, so to begin round 2, we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to do what's technically a double crochet 4 together. So we're going to take these next 4 double crochets and put them all into one stitch. So to do that, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook in the first double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through the first 2 loops and stop there. Then we're going to go on to the next stitch. So we yarn over just like we're starting a brand new double crochet, pull up a loop and work to the first 2 stitches or first 2 loops and stop. So we're stopping on the very last loop of each of these double crochets. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go to the next double crochet, pull up the loop, get in focus here, and then yarn over and pull through 2, and then we have 1 more to go, pull through 2, and now we have 5 loops on our hook. So this can be difficult to work if you don't know the trick. So yarn over. If I just start pulling, I'm going to get stuck. The easiest way to get through all these without getting stuck on anything is turn your hook straight down and pull through all of them. And now we create this kind of bobble stitch from these 2 rounds. It's going to be kind of a 3-dimensional poof right here. So then we're going to chain 7. So we're going to do 7 chains. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to single crochet to kind of anchor this, because this is going to be one side of our flower. This is going to be kind of our corner here. So I'm going to single crochet in here, And then I'm going to do another 7 chains so that I can get back over here to this next bobble in this area. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now the difference between this one and this one is that I have all 5 double crochets to do here. So this is going to be a double crochet 5 together. So we yarn over, and it's the same thing, it's just we're doing it 5 times instead of 4. If you change colors after this first round, you can join with a standing stitch and do the whole DC 5 together over here, double crochet 5 together, like we're doing on this one. So just like before, this chain's going to wrap around, just ignore it. It's not going to mess you up at all. It still gives you your loops over here. Yarn over and pull through the first 2, just don't pull through all 3. So you'll see I still have 2 from the chain and from the double crochet. Yarn over, go into the next one, pull through the first 2, yarn over next, first 2, you get the picture, do this 5 times, missed a piece there, and then point your hook down and pull through all of them. So now we have our second. So we're going to do these chains again. 7 chains, single crochet, 7 chains. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a single crochet in the corner. And then we're going to do the same stuff all the way around. So just keep doing the 7 chains, then your DC 5 together, and then that corner again until you get right to the end. Finish my last chain 7, and now we're going to join with a slip stitch at the top of our chain 3 right here. So we go 1, 2, and 3. Put your hook wherever you like in that chain. Yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. And then we're going to fasten off. So one thing I want to show you, just in case some people, there's 2 really ways to fasten off. And I usually do the chain 1 and pull it tight and then pull the chain 1 down. But just so you know, there is another way. So if you're making something and you don't like the little bump that may form when you do that chain 1, you can just pull out the loop and cut it like that. My scissors. And then when you weave in, the only thing is this can come out because it's, see how easily it can pull out? That extra chain 1 kind of tightens it down. So if you're not going to be weaving in the ends right away, it's better to go with that chain 1 so that your stitches don't pull out accidentally, especially if you're doing motifs, because if you have something like this loopy chain that gets caught on something, you can pull your stitch out. With the chain 1, it's not going to pull out because it's been tightened down and it's like a little lock-in chain. But you can do this, so if you're making maybe the edge of the motif, you can cut it without the chain 1, and then when you weave it in, it's a little bit flatter. Not super, you know, not huge difference, but it's a little tiny bit flatter. So if you are, you know, kind of a perfectionist about your edge and you don't want the bump, just do that. Just make sure that you don't pull it out before you weave it in. So kind of weave these in right away if you're going to do that kind of fasten off. But that's another way that you can fasten off that will reduce the bump. So now we're going to switch colors. That's why I cut off the blue for the final round. You could keep the blue and just keep on going, but I want to put a nice bright pink around this. So I'm going to go grab that and we'll do the final round. Okay, this final round 3 is going to be a really easy round. We're going to go ahead and put a slip knot on our hook, and we're going to do a standing single crochet to join in our next round. So just like our standing double crochets, all we do is we just start working our stitch. So we're going to work into any chain 7 spots. So pick any of these loops that you want to work into. Remember, I did that fasten off, the other type of fasten off, so probably don't start with this one so that you don't pull it out if you haven't woven in your edges yet. So I'm going to start next to it, and I'm going to start kind of over on this side because we're going to put a lot of single crochets around the loop. You could start wherever you want and just push them over as you go because they will move, because you're going to crochet around the entire chain. So you're going to put your hook straight through the big hole, yarn over, pull up your loop, and we're just going to single crochet. So that's how we're joining in with our standing single crochet. Very easy, no slip stitches, no chain ones. Then you can see I can move that freely because it's around the whole chain. So I'm going to push it all the way over because I'm going to put another 11 single crochets around these 7 chains. So it's going to get a little crowded and make it stick out pretty good. Now notice I just kind of did a really fast one and I'm kind of far from the other one. And you'll notice the top V, the top of the stitch right here, is kind of long. So if I turn it sideways, you can see that this V is a little shorter than this one. So I want to kind of avoid that because as I go and then I push this over, it's going to create this little bump, loose stitch looking thing. I want my stitches to look all the same. So when I do these, I want to keep them right next to each other. So I'm going to kind of push them over, make sure my loops are the same size as my shaft, and that's going to give me more consistent stitches. So just kind of push everything over to the stitch you just made and make your single crochets. So I'm going to do a total of 12 because that first standing single crochet counts as 1. And then we do the same thing on all of the other loops. There's no joining, no chaining in between. As you work, you're going to get close, so just push them over so you have more room. These are really hard to count if you're new and if you're not new because they're all squished together. So if I tried to count the front of these, I would have no idea how many I've done, and I haven't been counting as I've been making them. So I turn them sideways and I count the V's on top so I can see 1, 2, 3, try to hold on to this, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I have 4 more to go. And then I'll push them kind of back over because I think I'll have even a little bit of room left after I do these 4 to kind of even them out. So that's 12 total. It kind of went to the end, but you can kind of push them out a little so that they're all even across. So we're going to do another 12 in the next one. So we do nothing in between. We just start single crocheting. So it's a very easy round. Just got to keep count and keep those stitches right next to each other. So do 12 in every single loop you come to, and then we'll come back and join at the end. Okay, just doing the last single crochet of the round, and that fasten off I showed you, it keeps pulling my last loop out, so I have to keep pulling on the tail to pull it back down. So that is a concern that you want to remember, that if you're doing it with a motif, probably save it for the very last round. It's not going to make a real big difference on any other round. So I'm going to go ahead and join my round with a slip stitch in that very first single crochet. So right under those 2 loops, just yarn over and pull through. So maybe I'll try that here so you can see the difference with the flatness of the join. You can see if I pull it over, it goes nice and flat rather than, I'll fasten off with the chain one so you can see the difference. So when you have the chain one, you get that little chain there, but when you pull tight on it and then you weave it in, it goes pretty flat too. So the benefit of the chain one is that you can't pull it apart. The benefit of the not chaining one is that it will be a tiny bit flatter, but you can pull it apart. So whatever works better for you, whatever you like better, if you really want a flat edge on that final fasten off, then do it without the chain one. So I'm going to weave in the ends and then we'll take a look at the finished flower. I already got my ends all woven in, so now we have our kind of 3-dimensional loopy flower. This would be cute as an applique, or if you connect them in different spots, you can make a cute scarf or a shawl, but lots of different things you can do with it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and thank you for watching.